Alright, you guys. Today, I'm gonna be talking about how to train your dog. I have trained three. Yep. So the key is actually to be consistent and to have patience. Make sure that you have eye contact constantly with your dog. If you don't, the dog will do whatever it wants and it won't listen to what you're trying to teach them. And remember, you're in control, not them. Don't let them be the one in control. Um, so what I did, okay, so my one puppy, he jumped in the mail lady's truck when he was a puppy. So from that day on, I made him sit at the door and made him wait for me to tell him to go out the door for him to go outside. Because I didn't want him to actually go outside without my permission. It works. I mean, the dogs, well, now there's two of them that I've done that with. It works. I've also trained them because I'm kind of lazy a little bit. I don't want to clean up dog poop, so they go to the bathroom in the weeds. So ever since they're puppies, I actually, so like when they're puppies, I would hold them and carry them to the weeds to make sure that they would go to the bathroom there. So after they went to the bathroom as a puppy in the weeds, their scent would be in the weeds. So they would continue to go to the bathroom in the weeds. I actually trained my dogs to retrieve a baseball for me too. So what I do is I make them sit in front of me because, well, you first have to make sure the dog knows all the basic commands like sit and all that stuff before you actually have a metal bat close to your dog. Otherwise, yeah. Um, right. So, you throw the ball up, hit the ball with your bat, and then the dog will go get it. But you have to first have your dog trained so that he'll actually, or she, will listen when you call them. If you chase your dog, then the chasing becomes a game. So it's no longer a good thing. So, like, for example, let's say you're a hunter and you shot a duck. The dog would go and get the duck and would run around and want you to chase it. Chase your dog. Because you taught it that you can chase it around. So that's why it's important to be consistent, to make sure that whatever you're doing, like let's say you're just hitting a baseball to your dog, or let's say you're throwing a training dummy at your dog, what you want to do is make sure you're always consistent. Make sure that they bring it so you don't have to walk towards the dog. Make sure that the dog drops the ball or the dummy at your feet or close to your feet, at least within arm reach. Otherwise, the dog will get in the habit of having it become a game, or acting like, oh, I went and actually I got this ball, but I'm 10 yards away from you. You come and get the ball from me. So that's why it's important. You have to be consistent. I've said that I don't know how many times. Um, Make sure that the dog knows its basic obedience. Then you can continue to actually do more things for, like, you could train your dog to retrieve antlers. I actually had my dogs retrieve golf balls. That was kind of cool. Um, so if you have your the obedience trained in your dog, you're able to do so much with your dog. But you have to be consistent. Keep your eye contact with your dog. Don't let your dog get the best of you. Don't chase your dog around ever. Ever. Um oh, right. Don't use treats to train them either. They don't need to know that if they do A, that B, the treat will happen. They need to know that if they retrieve it, you'll make them that it will make you happy. So if the dog retrieves the ball or the dummy, then they will learn that is a way to make you happy. So they will continue to want to do this for as long as they live. I even have like a 12-year-old that still wants to do this. He's getting slow, but he's actually able to withstand the 4-year-old because he's just he's 12, but built like a bullet. Have fun and make sure you're consistent with whatever you do when you train them. And if you have kids, make sure you have them say the same words. Like, if you don't want your dog to move, you can just tell them to sit, and they should sit in place if you keep eye contact with them. But if you move and they keep moving, just keep looking at your dog and make sure your dog sits where it's supposed to go. I mean, you could say stay, but really, if your dog is sitting, if your dog has learned how to sit, your dog should sit where it's in position. You don't need to have to tell him to stay or her. You just tell them to sit where they are. Enjoy.